guys, welcome to the AAPM. We're here in Houston. I have Mr. Gilberto recording behind the camera. So I wanted to cover as much as I can the conference here to give more coverage to a lot of the vendors, to a lot of the research that the people are doing. We decided to do it more in interviews. So I did a few interviews with some of the vendors over here. Again, the main goal is to kind of give coverage, give something informative, something entertaining to people in medical physics, people outside of medical physics. If you're watching this, you have nothing to do with Redong. I still want this to be an enjoyable video, so I hope you like it. Let's take a tour. So we have, as you can see here, all the vendors under the sun. People come. The founders come, the presidents come, the CEOs, everyone comes with the company, and people are really passionate about what they do over here. And as you can see, you have Varian, the biggest market share, but you also have really new startups with exciting stuff and really passionate people all over the place. Let's take a tour. And I have to say, this is my first AAPM. Gilberto, you went to the one in DC last year. It's a very nice experience to just feel like you're in a place where people are, doing the same thing. People kind of share a lot with each other just because it's a very small field. You bump into people that you kind of know from another person, or you're always 2 or 3 people outside of your circle into knowing. So that's a really cool thing about the field. Let's go into the posters. We can kind of take a look into the. So as we can see, kind of half of the section is vendors. All of this is vendors. You have phantoms, you have softwares, you have people doing demos, but we also have a lot of research. Your presentation is today.
Yes, at 4:30.
Yes. Have Flash, similar to yours. Have AI. Have people presenting. And what else? Let's go to the other poster section as well.
Most of the other presentations are upstairs in the forums. Way bigger and can hold up to, I don't know, easily more than 100 people per session. This one is more the board for, networking.
Yeah. I'm yet to attend a single talk. I think it's just being here. It's just keep chatting, talking with people, which is always fun. Actually, I don't know what's this. Is this like an art? I have. That's pretty double sided. Yeah, this is. I haven't seen this in a while. Be volunteer. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, so I'll probably put the interviews into the next section. So we have a few interviews we filmed so far. We'll film more. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find this conference really kind of eye-opening, because a lot of people, this is my first time to attend any conference actually, so it's nothing new to me. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find something valuable in it, and if you do, please leave a like, please leave a subscribe, reach out if you're curious about the field, if you're curious about radiation therapy, medical physics, mostly if you're thinking about the industry, please reach out, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, Mr. Marc.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, no
I
worries.
appreciate it. So, you're the president of RaySearch America. If you can just give an introduction to yourself.
Yeah, sure.
How long you've been with RaySearch? And
You bet. So we started RaySearch Americas in 2011, but the product was already released outside of the United States. I'm a dosimetrist by training, from before you were born, probably. So in the late 80s, early 90s. And
That was before I was
yeah,
born.
before you were born. So I worked for Philips with the Pinnacle treatment planning system. And then when RaySearch released theirs, I decided to come work for this company. And it's a great product, and it was cutting edge technology then. And we do our best to be cutting technology now. So I have an MBA.
Okay.
I'm a certified medical dosimetrist, so I know a little bit of business, a little bit of technical. I'm able to. I think the important thing is being able to help people with their problems and give them the software that they need to, so they can deliver the cancer care that they want to provide to their patients.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So let me start by this. You said you're a dosimetrist. I feel like a lot of people, at least in my experience, in like radiation therapy in general, most of the people on the vendor side have either been therapists
Yeah.
or doses.
Yep.
Not that many physicists, I have
Right.
to say. There's a few.
Yep.
But how did you make the transition?
Yeah.
Or when did you take the decision, hey, I want to take a step into something unknown to
Right.
me, something outside of the clinic?
So in 1997, I sort of, after doing my 10,000th prostate plan and my 20,000th breast plan and so
Yeah.
forth, we bought the 8-act treatment planning system at the time. And, they said, hey, we're looking for people that can, support the product. And for me, the decision was, if I could go and support 1,000 centers as opposed to just my breast cases just in my center, that I could be helping the world in a much broader sense. So helping and training all of the different hospitals to use the software is critical. It's super important, and being able to use these tools, it can mean the difference. If someone's using only a little bit of your technology, and why did the department spend the money? Could they be treating their prostate or neck cancer patients better? So I decided I would be more helpful if I went into business. And I was in application support for about a decade. And
In RaySearch?
In Pinnacle.
In Pinnacle,
Yeah,
okay.
and then that was again from '97 to 2007, and then I joined these guys in 2011, and now I run a company that supports North and South America, and we do the training support, and so we train all over this continent and South America.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
Yep.
cool. What have that we use a Ray Station in Oklahoma. There's a lot of other centers. I feel Ray Station is just becoming much more mainstream in a lot of clinics. It's funny when I was talking to someone in Varian a few days ago, and I was like, with all due respect, Ray Station, I've used both. Ray Station just is is so much nicer to use than Eclipse in so many ways. Where, as the president of the company, where do you feel that you guys excel where other companies or other vendors are kind of lacking? What makes RayStation special from your perspective?
Right. So the development group is actually in Stockholm, Sweden. So there's RaySearch Laboratories. So I'm RaySearch Americas, and we're a subsidiary of the company. And we have a very strong development group in Stockholm, Sweden. And there's a real focus on user experience. We actually have a group of people that their job is to help figure out how to implement these advanced technologies in a way that's very doable. And I think you have to think about that, right? So you have these great technologies, but if it's terrible to use, it's worthless, right? So I think it's the focus on modern interfaces, it's the focus on user experience, and it's taking feedback from the customers and getting that back into the product. So that's really where I think the benefit is. And maybe some of the other companies that have much older product, right? They're not newly developed like we are. It's harder to make those changes to older software. So we have the benefit of being new platforms, and again, the focus on people's experience. So, and the training has to be good. If your training isn't good, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's been a focus.
I have to say, from the customer, like I'm still a student, so you're talking to a very basic customer. But I have to say, the thing that stood out for me, aside from the TPS itself, is the customer support. Because when I use a customer support and the people are there, I talk with the physicist there, I talked with dosimetrist, the specialist there, and they seem like they actually we hop on a call, and I feel like they wanna educate me, they wanna teach me. They're not just like, hey, do you have any more questions for us? They want to end the call as much as possible. No, they really want me to learn. They go above and beyond for me to learn, and I felt that this was special.
Yeah, well,
in
so that's why I only hire certified medical dosimetrists, physicists, people with experience in the industry, and that's a focus, and that's really, that's the concept, both at the development level and even at my level, where the focus is on if you bring a new product to market, you better train it, you better support it, because there's a lot of Eclipse out there, there's a lot of Pinnacle out there, there's a lot of Monaco out there.
you have to stand out.
You have to stand out, and that's the way that we want to do it. So
Gotcha.
I appreciate you saying that. We do work hard to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, and as an end note, going forward, I heard about Ray. I actually just saw RayCare like on LinkedIn a few days ago, like first treatment with RayCare, etc. Where do you see the future of RayStation going? Where do you see where the things that you're most excited about as a president?
So you mentioned RayCare. So RayCare is an oncology information system, which is like ARIA and Mosaic, but like RayStation to Eclipse or RayStation to Monaco, etc. It's a new platform. Really, the focus is on adaptive radiotherapy and all of the new technologies, AI, adaptive therapy, improved workflows, and the whole idea is that to consolidate all these really advanced features into a very easy delivery system that everyone can use. And I think adaptive radiation therapy is the future. And it doesn't mean that dosimetrists will do any less. It just means that we're all going to be focusing a little bit on different things like case management and when should we do an adaptive plan, and where is this? What do we have to do to get this patient treated in the best way possible? So I see the whole combination of AI, adaptive therapy, cool workflows, efficiency. That's really where everything's going, and I'm excited about that.
Gotcha. Do you think you guys are gonna start entering? I mean, you're very popular on the proton side.
Mhm.
Do you think you're gonna start focusing on the photon side to kind of push a lot of the competition?
So so yes, we have a big market share on the proton side, but even on the photon side, we're doing fairly well. It's probably about like a 15% market share.
Okay.
It should be better, and but I think that that's going to happen over time. We have a lot, especially as adaptive therapy happens. We support all different machines, like all the Accuray machines, and we love an Electro machine as much as we love a Varian machine. And so for centers that have mixed technologies, we're really the best choice. So I think as long as that continues to be a possibility, we'll continue to grow our market share.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Well, thank you
so
for the
much, Marc.
opportunity to
I
talk.
really appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
I have the one and only Tracy from Out of the Gray. Thank you so much I really appreciate it, Tracy.
Thank you.
So how has it been actually? How's the conference been so far? I know you recorded a few episodes, you're kind of on air.
Yeah.
How's it been?
Good. It's been great. Yesterday was busy.
Okay.
Busier than I expected for sure. And today's been really great. We've had a lot of booth traffic. A lot of people come by to say hi.
Okay. Is this the first AAPM that you do this? That you like the podcast side of things is coming to the AAPM?
Yeah, this is the first AAPM where Out of the Gray has been in the booth. With
Okay.
the
Okay.
podcast.
Okay.
We had we were live at Astro last year.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're kind of getting started.
Okay. That's cool.
Mhm.
So, similar to a question that you ask to all your interviewees. Oh, tell me how you got into medical physics. Tell me how you got.
I know.
So I know you're actually funny thing. So I'm in Oklahoma. I know that you did your radiation therapy program in Oklahoma.
I did.
So and honestly, like I have therapists in Oklahoma are great, like so nice. I don't know if you probably still know some of the people who are still working there. But tell me about how you made the transition from being a radiation therapist into like, no, I wanna try something new. I wanna go into industry. And tell me how Out of the Gray played into standard imaging, the marketing. How did you envision it?
Oh, it's a long story.
Please tell me about
Years. So I was working as a radiation therapist, and I have the utmost respect for the folks in the field. There's such a passion within the folks that work in the clinics and help the patients on a daily basis. I love that aspect of it, and still miss that part. I still have boxes of the memoirs, the little thank you notes, and
for the patients.
Yes, of course. So that was an amazing part of it. I was looking for an opportunity to. I really have a passion for teaching and for kind of working with groups in learning and growing and development of practices. So I went, I was actually at a trade show. I used to do some research. So at a trade show, and I saw a booth for Brain Lab, and I asked them what Novalis was, and I just could not quite wrap my brain around it. So the third day, they were like, we're hiring. That interested. So I took them up on it. I was like, well, fine, sure. And I spent several years doing application training and consulting for Brenda. It's awesome, great team to work with, so much fun, really cool tech. And then I wanted an opportunity to learn something new, so I took a chance and switched. Eric Deward, president of Standard Imaging, offered me an opportunity to learn more. Yet still on the sales team here at Standard Imaging. So I did that for a little while, and I started about a month before the lockdowns for the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah. So sales and lockdown.
Yeah, don't go well together.
They don't match. But the real thing was that all of the chapter meetings and the congresses were being shut down, and our admin team recognized that it was going to cost the members of those societies more than what we probably recognized, because the opportunity to network and converse and share knowledge was limited, restricted in some way. So they came up with the idea of the podcast, and they just came and asked if I'd like to host it. I was like, oh yeah, I think that's fabulous. So we kicked around a few ideas, and then the podcast is now 2.5 years old.
Gotcha. Okay. How, when you were like, okay, I'm assuming kind of it was a group effort, like we're gonna come up with a podcast. When you first learned, okay, you're gonna be the host of the podcast, you're gonna be the interviewing people. How was it? Like, you were doing sales for a while, and it's interesting that you mentioned, like, you mentioned being a radiation therapist and then going into sales. All of those, like, one of the most important skills in both is kind of just being very good with your words.
Sure.
In radiation therapy and in sales, being very, very smart, very emotionally intelligent about how you speak. When you learned, okay, I'll do a podcast, how did you feel about it?
So, in fact, I had never listened to a podcast before.
Wow.
They asked me.
Okay.
Before we were trying to determine what the platform would look like. It changed a few times. What it is now wasn't what it was in its infancy. So we were kind of looking at what it would look like. I had never listened to one. My husband is a huge podcast listener, so he was like, "It's so much fun and so cool. It's going to be awesome." So I spent a few months just listening to as many as I could.
Okay.
And getting an idea for what it looked like. It was very exciting time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was scary,
Uh-huh.
and because you're putting yourself out there in a new way.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
So,
You're the one who's kind of dictating where the conversation is gonna go.
Right.
Being the host.
Yes.
Okay.
But I found that people have stories to share, and if I can be the mirror for them to share their stories through, then that's mission accomplished.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
Yeah.
So, what has been your favorite? Would you say, like, being hosting the podcast and being on that side? How did it change your view about, like, sales in general? Because I feel like sales, when it comes, and I talked with other vendors in the conference, I feel like sales in medical physics, and specific, let me put it this way, sales in healthcare, is very specific. It's not like sales in any other area, but sales in medical physics specifically are very special, because you're dealing with people who are always very skeptical. Oh, is this really doing what it's doing? They're always double doubting what you're saying.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't think this is doing what you're saying it's doing. Oh, this is not true, right? Yeah. They're like, nah, you got this wrong.
Of course.
Right? How has it been? How has this journey been, like, dealing with all of this, like, just skills that are, some are shared from being a radiation therapist, but I'm sure some are very new.
Yeah, it's different. It's learning to communicate with folks in a different way. So as a clinical person, you're used to already communicating in a very technical way, but on the other end of that, it's more of learning how to educate. And that's where it changes a little bit, because instead of sharing information about a patient or trying to learn something about a procedure in the clinic, in the treatment room with your colleague, now from this table, it's, from the sales perspective, you want to try to educate and encourage learning and guiding through a new process.
Yeah.
Change management is tough.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
But so much fun. So much fun. This field is full of brilliant, amazing, wonderful people. And it's just so fun to continue to work with them and introduce new things and new processes. It's
I
great.
bet.
wouldn't trade it.
I bet. So, trying to think to what you mentioned before, but like, I feel like who came up with the idea that okay, it's gonna be a podcast?
Yeah.
Who was it?
We had a director of sales.
Okay.
He's moved to a different company now. He started his own company. He's very successful in keto business. Hi, Matt. If you see this, I'm sure you will. But it was him and our president, Eric George.
Okay.
The idea of the podcast. And we were kind of thinking about a way to allow the professionals within the field to still share their research truthfully. So kicking around different ways, different ideas to share just pure science. And it kind of grew and changed into the conversational. There's a lot of heart in it. There's a lot of people storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of grown into something like that
Absolutely.
over the course of the 2 years.
And I think it's a really great sales move from the people who came up with this idea and from you, because I feel like in sales, at least from the consumer perspective, you trust the salesperson when you feel that they are not trying to just sell you something.
Yes.
You're not pushing me, standard imaging, best, buy, take.
Best catalog ever. Which it is.
You're actually just interested in the people's stories, interested in just publicizing and giving more coverage to science, to medical physics. And, just it happens to be, hey, we're in this company, Standard Imaging. If you want to check it out, we have these products, etc. But it's kind of it's behind the podcast. It's not the main thing that's being pushed. It's behind it,
right.
And I think that's a very good marketing move, because you kind of almost respect the consumer's intelligence. You're we're not treating you like a child. We're not just pushing stuff on you.
No.
We're kind of respecting your intelligence, that we're offering a product. It's a good product, but you get to know it through the podcast. This is the main thing, and as it happens, it's the company.
That I credit to the heart of the admin, the founders, and the leadership. They're so open to providing a platform, to providing a place for people to come and learn about. Yes, we offer products, but to come and share stories and learn and communicate, network. That it's 100% the admin and their dedication to the field.
Gotcha.
They're 100% behind it, and I love that. Right? I mean, we do that. we like to promote the products because they're awesome. It's good physics. They really genuinely care about the field and the people in it, and that makes the world of difference.
Gotcha. No, it's I think the podcast is great, and thank you for putting it out there. Yeah,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you enjoy the episodes, and we try to keep it pretty broad.
It is very broad. Yeah, it's not just physics. It's the dosimetrists.
Yeah, the leadership, the burnout.
Students, people on research.
Because students have they have a great set of fresh eyes on things, and it's really, I've learned the most. The best teachers I've had are my own children, because they're seeing everything for the first time. So I really think it's so intriguing to chat with people who are entering the field, so they kind of see
from a new eye, from a new view.
It's a fresh perspective on things. So I really enjoy the resident interviews, but then there's also so much to be garnered from chatting with the people who've been seasoned by the field.
Of course.
Who've seen it grow from what
nothing.
It was. From using wires to now we've got AI planning, right? Things have changed drastically, but every different perspective, every desk has so much to offer. There's so much for all of us to learn from chatting from all parts of the clinic.
Absolutely, absolutely. To end it, is there anything you miss at OU? Is there anything you
Boomer sooner.
Boomer sooner?
I'll always be a sooner. Yeah. You know what? The program at the University of Oklahoma is such a well-rounded program. And granted, I was there, years ago.
Yeah.
I'm telling you how many. They didn't have the new facility yet. I'll say that.
Okay.
But it was ran by Stacey Anderson at the time, and just such an amazing group of professionals that help encourage people to grow and learn and always push to learn more. It's something I think we should all strive for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I mean,
It's
that's
easy
what's
to-
the field about. It's
Yeah.
the only, it's always changing, and you just always have to keep, updating. You just can't stay stuck.
Yeah, you got to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
But I think our field is so good at that. So I'm grateful to be a part of it. But yeah, I love the program there. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's fine. All right. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome to the VisionRT booth at AAPM. VisionRT is the inventor of surface guidance radiation therapy, which is a non-ionizing technology that can be used to position and monitor your patient for the duration of each treatment fraction. So today we're going to be going through a DIVH patient using AlignRT. There are two things that I need from simulation for this to happen. I need my patient to be scanned in a CT scanner, free breathing, and in their breath hold, so we can create their treatment plan and make sure that they are in the exact same position and the exact same breath hold for each and every fraction. Once I have that information from simulation, I'm going to bring my patient into the treatment room and begin her setup. So I'll start to raise the table and estimate where isocenter would be, and then I'll let AlignRT tell me how to do the rest. So right now, my patient is comfortably free breathing on the table, and I, as a therapist, am going to work to change her position, to move her, and to move my treatment couch to get those delta values on the left-hand side of the screen as close to 0 as possible. Once I'm happy with that position, I'm then going to switch over to my breath hold surface, and I will coach my patient into her breath hold. So when you're ready, take that breath in and hold. And again here, I'm going to work to get those deltas as close to 0 as possible. I can toggle my table and I can coach my patient, you can breathe, to make sure that she is in that perfect position. So let's do that one more time. When you're ready, take that breath in and hold. And that is about as good as we can get. You can go ahead and breathe. An important thing to note here too is that because of AlignRT and surface guidance technology, we don't have to put any marks on my patient's skin. So traditionally in radiation oncology, we would tattoo our patients, and then patients have a permanent reminder of their radiation treatment for the rest of their lives. And that is not necessarily a positive correlation. With AlignRT, they no longer have to have these permanent marks. They can go about their days completely as normal, and that really helps patients cope with such a difficult diagnosis. So we're proud to present that technology to the field. But that is how we would treat a patient every day with AlignRT.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the couple of interviews that I showed in this episode. I just want to say a huge thank you to Tracy, to Marc, to Emily for taking time to be on this video and taking time to be in the interview. And of course, huge thank you to Mr. Giro as well behind the camera. And actually, I filmed a few more interviews beside the two that I showed here. I'll probably release them in a in the next video, just to be kind of part 2 of this series, because I didn't want this video to get too long. So stay tuned for this one. This was my first conference. It was, as you can see, we're back. I'm filming this about a week and a half later after the conference. So it was definitely a lot of fun, a lot of great people. If you're watching this video and we met, at the conference, I just want to say a huge hello. And it was definitely uh, very nice to meet a lot of the people in medical physics just from all over the country. And I honestly can't wait to be back next year hopefully, maybe the year after. But just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that had a chance to meet in the conference, and I hope you liked this video, whether you're in medical physics or not. And yeah, let me know down below. Let me know on LinkedIn what you would like to see more. If you want to see kind of something similar, maybe stuff more business related, or if you want to see something more clinically oriented, let me know, and I'll do my best to film it. And see you guys in the next video.